I'm going to tie the Sulfur CET. CET stands for Crippled Emerger Transformer. My pattern, I've developed it over time. I just pinched the barb off using my Regal Vise spring tension to do that. Then I straighten the hook a little bit. I don't care for the bend in the hook. And now I'm going to use 6/0 uni-thread rusty brown, and you can probably see that, and build a thread body from the eye all the way down the hook shank around the bend, using the tag end as a kind of a ramp to throw my thread down. It's a little bit faster that way. And as you can see, I mounted the hook so that the vertical bend, vertical on the hook is just at the vise jaws. So when I'm coming down, I'm going to use, since the Sulfur is a three-tailed fly, I'm going to use this tag end as my third tail. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm coming right on down to the vise. And now, when I'm to the vise, I put my finger in and form a loop, take a turn above the loop, take a turn below the loop, and then unwind it one turn, spread it to the right attitude, and then spiral my thread right back up the hook shank to where my wings are going to attach. Okay, then I reach and get my scissors, and I cut the thread so that my three tails will lie in the correct attitude. Now at this point, I like to apply my head cement to the abdomen, what will become the abdomen, and the tails, so that I can preserve their attitude and give them a little stiffness on the fly. Usually I can get enough cement on the bodkin to make it all happen in one pass. Then I'll reach forward, cut my tails off about a little longer than the shank of the hook. Try to keep them even. And you can see the classic three-mate fly tails on this fly. And you can see that I've wound my thread all the way down to the hook shank. And now I'm going to get my wing material. And the wing material I use inevitably is called polypro. Polypro meaning polypropylene. Polypropylene has the wonderful property of being lighter than water and will therefore float nicely. Even when it is not dressed with floatant, it will seek to float because its density is lighter than that of water. And I'm going to take a piece of Velcro and just brush this polypro fibers so that they're all aligned. Get all the kinks out of it. It doesn't take much doing. And then I'm going to cut off a piece of polypro. And I cut this in half again just to conserve the material. And then I'm going to divide it in half again for my wing. On this size 14 fly, I use about half of the thickness of the rope that comes in the package. Now you can see I just put my thread over the hook shank. Now I'm going to reach and get the front wing, pull the front wing back, and pass my bobbin over the wing, so there I have a cross. I have just figure eighted out one pass only. You don't want to go multiple times. Then pick the wing up tight, squeeze it together, take two good turns in front, push it forward and take two good turns behind, maybe three. Spiral back to where you want your thorax to begin, and then I'll pull my wings back and get the estimate about a little longer than the hook shank, depending on the mayfly. The Sulfur has kind of a tall wing on it. Trim it in the front for a better attitude, and there you see the wing attitude is looking for a nice distinct V-wing. Very important. Very big part of why this fly is so effective, I believe, is the wing profile that you create. Okay, so now I'm going to dub the thorax with sulfur dubbing. I like dry fly dubbing, your pick. Match the color of the sulfurs in your river. Little Juniata River is kind of, the early sulfurs are paler than the larger, the smaller, later sulfurs. As I wind this forward, I'm going to use my last turn of dubbing to cock my wings forward. Okay. Then I'm going to leave just enough dubbing on the thread to take 2 turns around the front of the wings. And I pick the wings up and take 2 turns, 1, 2, 3 turns in this case. It's a little thin. And then pull this dubbing down. Careful not to cut your thread. We've all done that a few times. And now I'm going to get my whip finisher and finish the head of this fly. Pardon me. Usually 4 turns for a whip finish. That's enough on a size 14 dry fly. Trim it off. If you've done this right, you don't need any more head cement than that. So there is the Anderson or Bill's CET sulfur. Very, very effective, very durable pattern. Floats like a cork. You want the back end to float down in the water, and that's how it works. I can't zoom that. Come in for a little closer look at it. There we go. Now you can see it pretty well. There it is, the bottom view, side view, and that's the CET.